Corner. I had mentioned prior to this that we were going to have an episode called Tough and Tender, the tough side and the tender side of the guy, and relationships between the sexes, because it's a big issue in today's world. Relationships go sour. Sometimes they work. Most of the time they don't. And Noella's going to talk to us about that because we both have views on it. And I was telling my son earlier, I said, because he worked in restaurants many times.
Oh, God. Yeah, he probably saw a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. How many happy couples do you really see? I said, how many happy marriages do you really see out? He says, very few. The man's looking off here and the woman's looking up. They don't even talk.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's boredom.
From?
The same old, same old.
Same old stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it. I think people don't try after a while. They figure they're married and that it's going to take it for granted and it just run its course, and they don't really try to talk or do anything. But also in the gyms, and I had just written an article about it, back in the 70s, we were bodybuilders, of course, you guys all know that, and we would dress a little bit different than we do today. We wore baggy clothes because we weren't there to show our bodies off. However, if you saw us, you would know we work out. Today, a lot of the guys wear the skin-tight t-shirts and tank tops, and it's like, look at me, and they're trying to attract the women.
Right.
Women want that?
They don't mind.
But you got to get beyond that.
I mean, we definitely like to see the physique of a man. It depends, because all men assume that we want size, like a guy being big and burly. A lot of women like different kinds of body types, so it depends. And also, when a guy is more conscious of his clothing and his hair and all that than you are, it's a little bit off-putting.
I'm very conscious about my hair.
I can tell. I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's going this way today. Well, the thing I'm trying to get at is when I was a pro wrestler, of course, you're in a ring and you're half dressed and you're selling meat. People are paying money to see you and they want to see your body, and women would come up and proposition me because of that. They didn't really know me.
Yeah,
they just saw what they
saw. Character, yeah.
But once we'd get down and we'd start talking, they saw that I was a fun guy and had a good personality, which really added to it. I know a lot of my friends, not a lot of them, but there's a few bodybuilders out there who don't try to go any farther than look at me and stay pumped all the time. You've got to get beyond that. You've got to get to the tender side of yourself. You've got to let out your feelings, and women want a guy to be real.
Well, it's not only that. A lot of guys don't have more than that to offer. Like, Rick, you're assuming every guy that's got a great body also has a lot of intelligence or a lot of humor. Yeah. Not everyone has that. So some people work on their bodies because that is their selling point. Yeah. And if it is, more power to you. Yeah. But if you have a lot of intelligence, or you have some business acumen, or you're very funny, it is so much more of a pleasure to deal with somebody like that, because it's just a surprise. It's like gravy. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just makes everything better.
It's like the winning lotto ticket.
Exactly.
But it's also like having a custom car that's really shiny, beautiful paint job, nice wheels and all that, and the engine doesn't work.
Exactly. There's no oomph. Right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
At the end of the day, if it just looks good and it just sits there, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I've seen it over
and
over.
And it's good for the initial contact. Like, maybe physically you're like, okay, that's hot. But as soon as you sit down at a table with somebody, or you want to invite them home, or you just want to have them at your house, or you just want to sit with it in a conversation, and you realize that there's nothing there, the body starts to lose its glimmer.
Yeah, and it starts to lose it with age as well.
Absolutely. So there has to be something
Except
else.
in my condition,
you don't lose anything.
I'm rare.
My God, you got better, right?
But I know a few fitness models, and they're pretty and they're in great shape, and I've tried to talk to them and have a conversation, and it's like talking to the rug.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter of what they think is important.
Yeah, well, it's a priority. Yeah, they're priorities.
And some people also, like I said, a lot of people, that is all their selling point is. Some people, not everyone's created equal in the sense that sounds weird for me, but it's not. Not everyone's super smart. Yeah. Not everyone's super funny. Not everyone has another angle. So some people build their bodies because to them they know that works. Either they've got a great face already, so all they have to do is bulk up, or trim down, or whatever, and all they've got to do is dress well, and that's it. That's their new way of getting people to like them. So for those people, I say, okay, I understand that. But for people who are smarter than that, if they're limiting to that one-dimensional approach is a turnoff.
Yeah, I know. I think so too.
No, it's completely self-interested.
Yeah, it's too bad. And the thing is that when I first got married, my first marriage, my dream as a boy growing up in Bakersfield was to live in Santa Monica at the beach. I had to be at the beach. I was telling Shane that today, right by the water.
How funny,
and the gym. So I made my life and I moved there. I lived my dream. That's where I wanted to be. After married, a few years, and we had a baby. He was 6 months old, Adam. My wife said, we have to move and buy a house in the valley.
Oh no, the exact opposite.
Exactly what I didn't want. And here I am today. I'm happy to have the house in the valley.
But it's not near the ocean.
It's not near the ocean.
And if you're an ocean person, that makes a difference.
So when you're in a relationship, when you go in with agreements and you have certain things you want, why is it that it always has to change?
I think people change because of their priorities changing. Like for your ex-wife, it was probably because she was thinking where we can raise the kids, where it's safer and where it's cheaper, we can afford a bigger house, and where we can get them to a better school. Like Santa Monica, you know, she's thinking the beach is crazy. There's all these surfers. There's that whole surfer society. There's these like really expensive schools, really expensive lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so she was just being practical. For you, you're thinking, no, this is my dream.
Exactly.
But she's being the practical. When she's the wife, she has to deal with the bills, the diapers, all that stuff.
That's the difference between men and women, because men don't really like changes, and women want to change.
That's true.
Women want to change all the time.
No, I don't agree with that.
Oh, I do. Ones I have.
I don't think women would like to, they like to change their minds all the time.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily like change all the time.
Well, they do change their mind quite a bit.
Yes, we are privileged with that.
You know, a guy says he's going to do something, he does it. That's it. This is.
Oh, wait. A good guy says he's going to do something, he does it.
Well, yeah, that's all I know is good guys.
Okay, well, you're lucky.
But I mean, it's like that's it. That's my shirt. Those are my shoes. I'm going to wear them today, and that's it. And women have to change everything. I mean, change 20 times.
That's true.
You know, it's the whole deal out there.
That is our privilege.
You're going to take a restaurant, they want to change it 15 times. You go in the restaurant to eat, I know what I want.
Does he sound somewhat sexist at all?
No, it's true. I know on the menu what I want. I can go to any restaurant in this city and know exactly what I'm going to order because I know what each one has that I like. I go with somebody else, they have to read the menu 15 times and they still can't decide.
You mean some other woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't mean somebody else.
No, some other woman. Yeah, well, I'm talking woman.
All right.
And they end up with a salad. Lettuce. You can get lettuce anywhere. Just chop it up and throw some stuff on it.
I don't know that is the most sexist remark, and so that is not true even.
It's true.
Okay, well, then I'm very different women than you're used to.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll show them.
We'll show them, damn it.
So there's a lot of variables there, and it seems like relationships start out, and everybody's got their best foot forward, and then little by little, the real them comes out, and it's nice to find the real them right off the bat. And you know.
Yeah, I think that's something to do with maturity.
Yeah.
And I think also when you do work out, when you train a lot, that does build your maturity. Yeah. It definitely builds your discipline and your sense of purpose. And if you can get past the fact that you're looking fabulous and start to add that to your character instead of looking at that as your only sales point, then it becomes like something that you can use as a tool to engage others that are like-minded like yourself and say, wow, you're into fitness too, wow, that's awesome, like what do you eat and what do you do, and when you go to a restaurant, what do you think, and do you drink, and it makes you have compatibility issues that either match or don't match right away.
Right, exactly.
Right?
But a lot of times, and many times, when you're really well built and your whole life is fitness and diet and this and that, and then you go with somebody who's not into that, it puts them in a place where they feel like, I'm not going to fit in here because he's so conscious of that, or she's so conscious of that, we're not going to get together. That's
true, or they think once they've got you that you won't be happy with them anymore, which is strange to me because if you liked them to begin with, why would you suddenly change that? But they become more self-conscious because they start to see by your example how much effort is put into it.
Yeah.
And it becomes something that then you have to look sort of inward. Yeah. And for some people that makes them feel guilty or sort of resentful. For others, it's actually very inspiring. And to me, if you're inspired by that and you start to like actually care about your food too and everything, great. You don't have to be like me. But if you care more, it makes us both relate more and makes us both more respectful. If you don't, I don't know that I want anyone to be in perfect shape, but I definitely know that I care about somebody caring about their body.
Right. If they care about their body, they'll care about everything else about them.
Exactly.
I've met women who are not in perfect shape who, to me, can be very, very sexy and very, very nice because their personality is so overwhelming.
Absolutely.
That's a huge factor
right huge attraction. And even then, and it's not like you go, well, what a pretty face if you'd only just work out.
Right.
If you choose to work out, I'd love to help you.
Right.
Because I met you like this. You know what I mean? But if the people come and approach me and they go, oh, God, you know, I'd love to be like that, and also, and they have this great personality, then I've already taken their word for it now. That they're saying, okay, you know, help me to train too. If you come with me at that approach, then I'm going to give you some hints. And don't take offense at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't say that and hope that I like you. And maybe I will. I don't know. I've never been with somebody that was super overweight or super skinny.
That was my next question.
I haven't.
Never.
No, because I've been lucky enough, but I also don't demand a lot. I'm not into huge bodybuilder guys either. I like a soccer guy body, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
So to me, that's a very attainable body. And even if they were not in great shape when I met them, just because of my example, they would start to get into better shape because I would be at the gym all the time. So they'd either come and join me or they wouldn't see me as much.
Well, that's how I look at it. I mean, the girl doesn't have to be a fitness model and be dynamic with the big boobs and skinny waist and all that. It's got its own place.
Anyway, yes.
What?
Nothing wrong with that, though. I was just
There's
saying.
nothing wrong with
saying.
that. No, that's the icing on the cake, and that's okay. But as long as they've got, they take care of themselves and they have well grooming and they're decent and they have a nice personality and warmth and are honest, that's a huge thing.
Okay, what was with that honest
Because
statement?
it's hard to find honest people in this world.
It is. It is. What do you mean when you say honest?
Well, I went with a girl once. I met her at the mall here, and she told me she was a graphic designer. She had a 300Z. She lived in Las Vegas in this beautiful home, and she did movie posters for the movies. Come to find out that the Z was a friend of hers because her car was in the shop. It was a little Honda.
No.
She was a Canadian citizen and didn't have a green card. She didn't do graphic photos for anybody, and the house were two casting directors that let her rent a bedroom or stay in.
So basically, she was telling you what she wished she was.
Apparently, because none of that was true.
How did you find out?
Because after I started dating for a while, all the truth came out. Then she went back to Canada and told me that she couldn't come back without a green card, that I had to come up there and marry her.
And you're like, yeah, I really want to marry you now.
So I did. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, he got me. He got me with that one.
That was.
I wouldn't be so surprised, actually.
That was 25 years ago, and now who knows where she is? I have no clue.
Oh my God. Okay, honest. Okay, if you're defining it like that, yeah, I get it. Sometimes the honesty that you're talking about, though, like when people say, like for example, you wanted to live in Santa Monica, and then your ex-wife changed her mind. That's not to do with honesty or like really being deceptive. A lot of times it has to do with a change of situation.
It's not. It's just a change.
So that I feel like you have to be a little adaptable sometimes, but also you have to stay true to what really works for you.
Yeah.
And for you could have maybe said, honey, we'll figure out a way to afford it here, but this is where we live because this has been my dream.
Well, we did that. We looked for a place in Santa Monica, and they were way too much money.
So she made sense.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not unhappy about being out here. It's fine, and she and I are very good friends today, and it's worked out fine.
Good.
But this girl I was telling you about also told me that she wanted an $8,000 diamond ring, a red Mercedes, and a new house, and she wanted me to get rid of my two boys because she wanted to show her mother when she came down here from Canada that she really made it big.
She actually said that.
He actually said it.
Wow, I like that. That's honesty. You said you wanted
this
honesty.
was after time. So I moved her briskly out of my house, and she moved 3 blocks over.
She was in your house?
She lived here for a year.
Oh my God, who are you?
I'm the Rick.
You're the Rick.
And she haunted me for 13 years after that.
Oh my God.
I
know you have a history with stalkers.
I have a history of stalkers.
It is great.
My
I'd
God.
love to have a stalker. I want a stalker.
No, I don't.
Can I have a stalker?
You can.
Let me show me how important I am.
I'll be your stalker.
Okay, you can stalk me.
I'm easy. I don't run.
But you won't stalk. Like you're not good like that,
I'm good. I just have to walk slow.
You'll stalk me like once, like a phone call every 2 weeks. That's stalking.
There's a text message that you answer about 24 hours later. You are the slowest person on text ever.